Good morning, everybody. Mel Sol here on Monday, the 5th of February 2018. And on Mondays, we talk about the tournaments from the previous week. That's why we call it Monday Rewind. And I'm going to start with the European Tour. And it was the Maybank Championship at Sarjana Golf and Country Club in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And a new star has been born in the European Tour. Shubhankar Sharma recently won the Joburg Open in South Africa back in December, and he won the Maybank Championship quite convincingly. He won the Joburg Open by 3 or 4 shots, and he played like a veteran. And I think this guy, there's a lot of good players coming out of India right now, and he's another one that is a really good. These guys really putt well, and he's another player that I think is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the coming years. Dylan Fratelli, my fellow South African, was tied for the lead going into the final round, and he really putted badly. He couldn't hold a thing, and even though tee to green he wasn't too bad. And I noticed a really serious flaw in his putting stroke. And so on Saturday, when we do our short game Saturday, I'm going to talk about this flaw in Dylan's putting stroke, because if you have it in your putting stroke, you cannot putt well. So come back on Saturday, check out the short game Saturday. I'm going to talk about Dylan Fratelli's flawed putting stroke. PGA Tour, Gary Woodland, who hasn't won for quite a while, he played great golf. The announcers were talking about Gary Woodland's putting stroke, and that's always been his Achilles heel, is this poor putting. And in the last year, he's really worked hard on getting his putting, and that's really showing. And I think Gary Woodland's always obviously hit the ball very far and been a pretty good ball striker. If he gets his putting together, he's going to be a force in the 4 majors coming up. I was pulling for Ches Reavie, who played great. The guy's not very big, and he only hits the ball, his best drive yesterday I think was 272. And so these guys bomb it a long way past him, but he really played well. He putted well. He came to the last hole needing a birdie, only hit his drive, I think 259, left him a long shot into the green, hit it to about 20 foot, hold the putt to get into the playoff. In the playoff, he hit it to almost a similar shot, a similar place on the green, but it rolled off. On the regulation, it stayed on the green. In the playoff, it trickled off, so it was just a fraction more left. It trickled off. And I've spoken about this before, how these modern players have lost the art of the bump and run. And while I was sitting there, I thought, he's got plenty of green to work with. It's uphill. I would have taken something like a 7-iron and played a little bump and run with a 7-iron. The worst result you're going to get with that type of shot is about 3 feet. Well, a lot of these young guys, they love the sand wedge and lob wedge, and it looked to me like by the loft that he chipped with his lob wedge, and he left it about 20-25 foot short. Did not hold the putt, hit a very good putt, just stayed out, and Gary Woodland putted up and had a simple 18-inch tap-in to win the tournament. So, when you come to golf school, I teach you how to chip with almost every club in your bag, and sometimes it is okay to chip with a lob wedge when the situation demands, but you also want to be able to play shots with 6-irons and 7-irons and 8-irons and play these little bump and runs. There was no tournament in the LPGA or the seniors this week. Next week is the AT&T Pebble Beach. I'm actually surprised that Tiger decided to skip this one and play in the Genesis the following week. Tiger's had a great history at Pebble Beach. Back in 2000 when he won by 100 miles. He has good memories at Pebble Beach. I'm surprised that he's decided to play at Riviera, which he doesn't have a good record at Riviera. So, he must have a reason, for doing that. And then the European Tour is the IPS Honda World Super 6 in Perth, Australia. That's a new format, and last year was the first time they tried it out, and apparently, I did not watch it, but it went over very, very well with the players and the audience. I will certainly be watching this tournament next week. So thank you for watching. We have our Troubleshot Tuesday, rules on Wednesday, very interesting rule for Wednesday. Then we have Technical Thursday, and we have Fitness Friday, and then we have Short Game Saturday, where I'll talk about a putting stroke. Stay tuned.